Hey boys and girls, so we're on module 8, lesson 7, multiply fractions. By the end of this lesson, you're going to be able to solve problems involving the multiplication of whole number or fraction by fraction. So that means that you're going to be multiplying fractions by whole numbers and fractions by fractions. We're on page 209 and 210. I'm going to go to the interactive version so it's easier for me to import responses for you. Okay, so it says an annual fundraiser raised 4/5 of the amount of money in 2017 as it did in 2018. $5,000 was raised in 2018. How much money was raised in 2017? I'm going to go ahead and underline some important information. So I have raised 4/5 the amount of money in 2017. Okay, so 2017 they raised 4/5 of the amount of money as they did in 2018. Okay, so it looks like I'm almost underlining the entire sentence, but I'm going to go ahead and simplify that on my little Wix side on the left. The next part of important information is that it says $5,000 was raised in 2018. And then finally, our goal is we need to figure out how much money was raised in 2017. Okay, so I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to write out what I know so far. I know for sure that 2018 they raised $5,000. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And 2017, all they told me was that they raised 4/5 of the amount of money as they did in 2018. So I know the word of means multiply, and I do know how much they raised in 2018, $5,000. Okay, so I'm going to write that out over here. Now my goal, because that was my wick up here. It's been a long day. So my goal is how much did they raise in 2017? Okay. So the first question in part A is, in which year do you think more money was raised? Do you think more money was raised in 2018 or 2017? Well, let's think back to yesterday's lesson. If I multiply my 5,000 by 1, it's going to stay the same, 5,000. If I multiply by a number greater than 1, then my 5,000 will be greater. But if I multiply 5,000 by a number less than 1, then my answer is going to be less than 5,000. So 4/5, my numerator, is less than my denominator, which means that when I multiply this by 5,000, the answer that I get for 2017 is that it's going to be less than the original 5,000. So that means the year that it sold more money was 2018. And let's check. It's true. Since 4/5 is less than 1, the product, the answer to the multiplication problem, of 4/5 and a number less than that number, and a number is less than the number. The amount of money raised in 2017 is less than the amount of money raised in 2018. More money was raised in 2018. Okay? And again, we have to explain our reasoning, and it's kind of what we just talked about. To find the money raised in 2017, we need to find the product of 4/5 times 5,000, which we have here. We got that from our situation. Okay? When you find a part of a whole, the product will be less than the whole number. Okay? So because we are multiplying by a number that's less than 1, we're only going to be finding part of the whole. Okay? Part of the whole for 2017. Part B says complete the equation with the whole number factor written as a fraction to model the problem. So I know I'm going to do 4/5 times 5,000 because we got the information from our WIC, but I need to multiply it by a fraction. Would I put 5,000 with a denominator of 5, 4, or 1? You should be saying 1 because we're not changing the value. 5,000 divided by 1 is still 5,000. But now I can multiply my numerators by my denominators. So if I did do that, my 4 times 5,000, 4 times 5 is 20, and then the 3 zeros. So I should be looking for 20,000. So I know the first option is not available for me. I'm left with these two. Now my denominators, 5 times 1 is 5. Let's check. That's correct. Part C says solve the equation. So if I did do 4 times 5,000, which we did, we got 20,000, and then the 5 times the 1, I got 5, I now had to find the answer for this. 20,000 over 5 is not an amount of money. I can't say, oh yeah, they raised $20,000 over $5,000. That doesn't make sense. What we need to do is the last step. We have to divide 20,000 by 5, which is what this is here. So the 4 times 5,000 gave us that 20,000. Now I need to divide by 5 to figure out how much money was raised, to figure out what R is. The correct answer is 4,000. There we go. We multiplied 4 and 5,000 to get 20,000 and then divided by 5 to get 4,000. How does this situation compare to your equation from part B? Well, part B, that's exactly what we said. We multiplied my fraction of the amount that they raised in 2017 by the amount that was raised in 2018 to get 20,000 over 5. And we had to divide to find our answer. Both equations model the amount of money that was raised in 2017. That's correct. 20,000 over 5 equals how much they made in 2017, and so does R, 4,000. This one is the fraction, and this one is the exact amount. Part D, how much money was raised in 2017? Write your answer as a whole number. So, same thing. Now we just labeled it. Notice a new dollar sign that's here. We evaluated the fraction, and then we were able to get 4,000, which is the monetary amount that was raised in 2017. How does your answer in part D compare to your answer in part A? Here we got 4,000. Let's go back to part A. In part A, we said that in 2018, they raised more money. Was that true? Did they raise more money in 2018? We know that we eventually got $4,000 as our answer for 2017. Did they raise more money in 2018? Yes, they did. 4,000 is less than 5,000, so more money was raised in 2018. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next page. And as always, just comment below if you have questions, and we'll see you today at 11:30 a.m. for our video conference. A soccer team is having a fundraiser. Of the items they were selling, 3/4 are gift cards. 2/3 of the gifts are restaurant gift cards. Okay, so again, we gotta underline our important information. So the beginning is kind of unnecessary. We don't care really who's doing it or why they're doing it. We're just looking at the facts. So we know that 3/4 are gift cards, and we also know that of those 3/4 gift cards, 2/3 of them are restaurant gift cards. Okay? Let me go back to that blue. What we want to know for part A is what fraction of the items are they selling? What fraction of the items they are selling are restaurant gift cards? So think back to what we just did in the previous problem. What do you think we need to do in order to solve? And then it wants you to complete the equation. You might have to complete the equation first to get your answer in order to go back up over here and fill it in. Remember, once you find your answer, don't forget to label it. They've already done that for you in the interactive lesson, but it's not in your workbook. Okay? And then part B just wants you to go ahead and explain or describe how you could have used a visual model. Remember how we did that a few lessons ago on lesson 5, a couple pages back? You can flip back to see how would we draw a visual model to solve for this lesson, for this question. Okay, I'm going to flip to the workbook. So it says that for check understanding, of the movies in Mr. Jackson's collection, 7/10 are on DVD. Of those, half of them are science movies. So I'm going to get my marker out again just to underline some important info. So I learned that 7/10 are DVD. Of those 7/10, half of them are science fiction. What fraction of Mr. Jackson's movies are science fiction DVDs? Okay, so you got to figure out what do you need to do to find the answer. Do not forget to label. Okay, they told you what the label is right over here. Okay, they're looking for how many science fiction DVDs that Mr. Jackson has. And then finally, for numbers 2, 3, and 4, just go ahead, multiply, and find the products. See you today at 11:30, boys and girls. And if you have questions, just comment below. Bye-bye.